Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's edition of Tech Talk. I'm Jason Dubray, CEO of Sterilizer Autoclave Solutions. And as you know, what we're going to be talking about today is real live calls that we take on our free technical support line, 704-966-1650. What I have here in front of me is an actual tech log of a real live person that called into our tech support line. So some things that we walked through. This was Lauren from Dr. Javier Berto's office. They were calling in. They are an existing customer of ours, and they were calling in with some issues on their Statim 5000. So what we've done is I'm going to invite our guest here, Erik, one of our highly trained technicians, to come in and talk about the phone conversation that actually happened with Lauren here. Erik, nice to see you, my friend. So tell us a little bit about what happened on the phone call when Lauren called in, the type of issues we were having, and how you got to the determination that there was a blown double thermal fuse.
Customer called in with a cycle fault 25, which indicates that when the Statim was trying to run, the bowler was not giving a signal for the water pump to give water to it in order for it to be able to run. There are things to check. Your most common is going to be your double thermal fuse, which is your number 3 wire. It'll be black in color. It should also be marked number 3. A good way to test this, if I can get it to come loose. Normally I cut the zip tie off. If you'll undo that right there, and what you'll want to do is take your voltmeter / ohm meter, turn it to the tone sound, and what you're going to do is you're checking for a tone between them to know whether that double thermal fuse has been blown, and it's one into the next, and you should get that tone right there. If it is blown, you will not get a tone, and you're going to need to change that double thermal fuse out in order for that bowler to be able to give the single tube water pump that needs water in order to work.
So let me ask you this, Erik. This is a common thing that we get phone calls on. Double thermal fuses blow. Our first option obviously is to replace that double thermal fuse. If that double thermal fuse blows again, what is that indicative of?
All right, what you're going to want to check for that is it's still saying that the bowler has basically the bowler does not have power, or it has consistent power. So basically what that double thermal fuse does, it sits underneath the bowler, and if the bowler reaches a certain temperature, that fuse is supposed to blow in order to prevent this pop-off valve from going. So other things that you can check on here is down here is your bowler triac. The way that you're going to test that is you flip over to ohms. You're going to touch your 2 outside leads here. You should get a reading. When you go outside in, you should have no reading. Come back to the outside, have a reading. Go inside, you should have no reading. If you're getting a reading like this, that means your track is bad and completely open, which is not giving a signal for the bowler to cycle on and off, which is basically going to overheat the bowler, blow your double thermal fuse, and keep your unit from running.
Excellent information. Okay, and in this instance, however, we had the customer go ahead and replace that double thermal fuse, and all was working with the unit. So this was a very successful tech call. When it just shows the level of service that we provide here at Sterilizer Autoclave Solutions. And as a final thought, what we do from a customer service perspective is a handful of days later, after they've installed the part, we do a follow-up phone call. One, to make sure that they were happy with the service that our technician Erik provided, which in this case was next level service. And secondary, to make sure that there aren't any additional issues or they don't need help with anything else. And in this instance, Lauren was the one who reached out from our customer service team, and the customer gave us the A-OK and actually gave us a 5-star Google review. So thank you all for joining this episode of Tech Talk. We enjoyed our special guest Erik for joining us. We appreciate you very much.